All right, so this week we are revving in a golf cart. It's not our car of the week, ladies and gentlemen, but we shall be telling you about the car of the week. Welcome aboard. I'm Andrew Kabuura. As we start off with a new week, we have a whole new show coming your way as well. We are back to the Lake Victoria Serena Hotel, and this is the lower side, the golf course. Very, very, very beautiful. We only found it fair to come back here. As you can see, the golf course right behind me, and further up, you can see their new driving range as well. It should be open very, very soon. So if you want to practice your golf swings, this is exactly the place you should be coming to. Welcome aboard. We have a new car to show you guys this week. We have tips as always. And as always, we also emphasize things to do with safety. So as we get the show on the road, let's rev up.
On this edition of Revved Up, to change the interior overhead light in your car, simply situate yourself in one of the front seats and use a screwdriver to gently loosen the cap over the light. Once it is detached, you can remove the bulbs from their sockets and replace them with fresh ones. Clean the cover thoroughly and carefully replace it over the light bulbs. Finally, switch the overhead light on to ensure that the new bulbs are working properly.
Look, every time we come to the Lake Victoria Serena Hotel, one of my most attractive parts, one of the best parts I like coming to is this area, the flowers. They're green, they're different colored, and as well, you see, having excelled massively in the subject that is biology, I know how to look after flowers. Is it biology or it's chemistry? It could even be physics though. I think it's, it's one of those three. I excelled, I was brilliant. So I know how to look after flowers. And I thought since this is a car show, you also need to make sure your car engine is as healthy and brilliant as these flowers. Your car and the engine should give you the performance and the efficiency you're looking out for. So what do? You use Shell V-Power. Now go to any petrol station right now, any Shell petrol station, and get yourself Shell V-Power, because it's going to optimize the performance of your car. You'll feel the car is giving you what you expected from your car at the very beginning. It also helps keep it healthy and probably moving forward as durable as it can. So go get yourself Shell V-Power so your car engine can look as beautiful as these flowers. Let's look at the futuristic cars for this week.
Futuristic vehicles, brought to you by Shell V-Power. Chrome-plated grills of fine glossy finish, plush leather lining every inch of the interior, a digital media receiver. All this is nothing without performance. A great set of wheels is only as good as the engine powering it, and coursing through every great engine are the world's finest motor oils.
It's all about the engine.
Whatever you drive, whatever the condition, we have the right motor oil for your engine. Visit any Shell service station near you and choose the right oil for your engine. Shell Motor Oils, because it's all about the engine.
It's all about the engine.
There was a time, not long ago, when the name Maybach seemed to dominate pop culture and motoring fan clubs. Although well known, these cars actually failed to produce enough sales for Mercedes to continue the model. So for 5 years, Maybach dropped off the motor map and appeared to no longer be relevant. This year, however, Mercedes has semi-revived the old Maybach brand and turned it into a superior S-Class sedan limo called the Mercedes-Maybach S600. This monster of a car has a 6.0-litre V12 engine that produces a staggering 523 horsepower. For most vehicle owners, this is the height of luxury. But there are always those who want to take perfection one step further. The Incas Armored Vehicle Manufacturing Company thrives on customers such as these, who are unimpressed with purchases that do not stretch their pocketbooks to the limit. For an extra $500,000, more than twice the value of the actual car, Incas will coat the Mercedes Maybach in a bulletproof exterior, turning it into an armored vehicle. The inside is modified as well, giving it an almost sporty interior, and there are excessive luxury accessories for the passengers, including separate air conditioning units and dining trays. The lighting can be adjusted according to mood, and there's a fire suppression system in place. Whether or not such a ridiculously unnecessary car will ever have a practical use is as yet unknown. But it's interesting to know that there are people who can and will spend $500,000 for the safety that a bulletproof window can provide. Perhaps this new addition will finally give Maybach the publicity it needs to regain its spot on the popular cars table.
All right, for starters, I'm super excited that we're shooting at the Lake Victoria Serena Hotel. You know why? Because you have views like those. Unique views of Lake Victoria. You never find views like those anywhere else in Kampala. And because of that, we're also helping you get a car that is very unique and very rare. You know, the kind of cars you really never find anyone else driving in Kampala. Well, Checky is making sure you can get a car like that. All you have to do is go to your browser, put in checky.co.ug/hot deals, and then you look at some of the unique and rare cars that are available for sale, by the way, and buying here in Kampala. So do that right now, or better still, take a look at the lineup we have for you this week. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation like the one I'm in right now, where from a distance, you see a car and you think it's a very beautiful car from a distance. And now because of that, you want it to come closer to you so you can look at this car because you're not sure if it's so beautiful when it's so close to you. That's what I think. That's what I think. The Nissan Sentra, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful from far, even more beautiful up close.
Graceful yet commanding, the Nissan Sentra is the kind of well-rounded vehicle that we've come to expect from Nissan over the years. This four-door sedan is classy enough to be a business car, but inviting enough to be used for leisure activities as well. It is a city car, not spitting raw power like a workhorse pickup truck or tearing along at bone-shattering speeds like a sports car, but exactly what the vast majority of us need for our everyday lives. A reliable, safe, and efficient vehicle that has the added benefit of looking stylish too. The 1.6-litre engine delivers 114 horsepower and is available in both automatic or 5-speed manual transmission, making the Nissan Sentra not only quick, but remarkably fuel efficient as well.
All right, so as we get deeper and deeper into the Nissan Sentra as well, we're joined by Mr. Revved Up, who is the marketing coordinator at Nissan Uganda. Thank you very, very much for coming to our set.
Nice to see you.
I love the car. I have had a chance to look at the car and not most of the viewers out there. But let's start off with the basics. In the original concept of this car, what was the plan? Who were you guys going out to? What was the plan?
The initial plan behind the Sentra was build a car that would meet the satisfaction of someone who is looking at an E-class car in a B segment. What this means is that build a car that is spacious enough, but with loads of fuel economy.
Well, from a distance, even when you sit in, of course we shall be doing that very shortly, it comes off as a glamorous car, if that makes sense, a classy car. What again was the thinking behind that? Is it a car meant for specific segments of folks out there?
Not really specific segments of people, but it's an individual who is looking at space, also looking at the performance of the vehicle, but also how it comes out with him or her in it. Those are the three attributes.
So that comes with comfort, that comes with the experience, quality and everything on the
Drive me, feel comfortable, drive me, I have a good fuel efficient engine, and be comfortable with lots of legroom for both me, the driver, and the passengers behind me. And besides, there is lots of luggage room behind them.
Because I mean, what's driving a sedan without space? Because these sedans are generally smaller cars. So you need space, you need fuel efficiency. There's lots of technology in this one as well. So there's a high-end feel to it. But the one question I really want to ask you is, you guys are into selling cars.
Sure,
we know that already. You're jumping into a very competitive market as well, which has so many sedans, so many new generation sedans as well. What's the difference? What's the difference? What cuts you guys aside?
First of all, Nissan is Nissan. We're known for efficiency, we're known for durability, we're known for machines that will not break down. And that's what you'll find in the Sentra.
And durability, of course, is something we know from Nissan.
For Nissan.
All right, Richard, thank you very much. Let's
you.
try and get more into the car, look at the inside. He's talked about the space. We need to look at that even more. I have looked at the space. There's lots of technology in there. Probably will be shocked by its performance on most of the roads. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Andrew. Pleasure.
The cabin is very spacious for a sedan and has a dark, toned interior that lends an air of sophistication to the Sentra. The Nissan Sentra is capable of carrying up to 510 litres of luggage space, a good amount for any saloon car. Its safety features include 3-point seat belts for all the occupants of the vehicle, as well as brake assist technology, anti-brake lock system, and electronic brake force distribution.
All right, so we are inside the Nissan Sentra now. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Just to take you through, the moment you get into this car, the first thing that comes to your mind is the beautifully designed this. the dashboard, some folks will say. You've got the center console in there. You've got these curves, which I think are beautiful, bring out some character in this very car. You've got, of course, them going outwards towards the doors when it comes down to your instrument panel. But what really gets my attention as well is how simplistic it is. When you look at most of the buttons in here and what they should be helping you with. This one is the manual transmission, so you've got that as well. You've got an extra charging port somewhere in there for those of you folks who will of course be traveling and you need something to do with your charging. And then you've got your bottle compartment in case you're drinking something. It's a cup of something, very simple in there. So you have everything the driver would normally need in a car. And then from here to here, where the driver really focuses the most as you drive, it's got a 3-spoke steering wheel. I think what's most interesting about it, it's got one button, this button. Of course, you have your horn, that is that. And then you've got this button. Now, what this button does, it helps you display all the information the driver should need right on the front. You can check out the temperature on the outside. You can check out the kilometers. You can check out, of course, the speedometer, which should help you with knowing how fast you're traveling. You've got your fuel controls in there. So it's very simple. But what's more classy than having a less cluttered sedan plus beautiful finishing to it? The material they did use, it is just simply unclassy. How many times have I said the word classy on today's shoot? Trust me, I've not repeated it by mistake. The car is classy on the inside. All right, so I'm joined by David Nyoike now, who is the National After Sales Manager, Nissan Uganda.
Correct.
He's going to take us for a quick drive through the Nissan Sentra, and he can give us his personal feel as a driver and as someone who makes sure the after sales are handled very well.
Correct.
So David, first things first,
Right.
we do our seatbelts. Safety is everything.
Correct. Yep. And Sentra is all about safety.
All right, let's go. Did you feel like the new generation cars or some of the cars used by folks who look at safety, not having ABS is probably one of the bigger sins today, because if you don't have ABS, then you're going to struggle controlling that car or getting out, off the road when
Right.
there's an obstruct up front.
Exactly, because it assists. It makes sure an assistance to the driver, to the reaction.
Yeah.
And it helps you in the event that you need to stop suddenly, in the
Yeah.
event that you're in a situation, in a tight situation, it kicks in and allows you to be in charge and in control of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So you're not struggling with it. Those are the basics. And today, like you say, it's a sin not to have it in the vehicle.
David, how tall are you? How tall do you think you are?
I'm just about 5'9".
5'9". I'm probably about 5'11".
Right.
And look at how much legroom we have. So
Plenty.
one of the first things you need to know about the Sentra is that you have lots and lots of space.
Right.
We've discussed the importance of space in sedans.
Right.
And one of the things they are focused on is to make sure you have enough space even with your own family.
Correct, correct. It's got lots of it. You've got all that you need for
Yeah.
control. You sit back comfortable. You're not hugging the steering wheel.
Yeah.
You're not hugging, the dashboard. Everything's a distance, and therefore you have even sight access to all your instruments.
Yeah.
You're able to see them correctly, what speeds you're doing, what, you've got the fuel economy drives on there. It's showing you how you're driving, what consumption you're doing.
Yeah.
So you're able to control and you're able to see it because you've got space.
The handling, how do you feel from a driver's perspective?
Right. Basically, it's like I say, first and foremost, that comes in is the safety. And the wide view windscreen also helps you in the sense that you have all your angles right. And, especially driving in Kampala with all the borders coming left, right, and center,
Yeah.
you've got it all. You've got the pillar, and then it flows into your rear view mirror. So you've got everything on
And you have a
site.
flat dashboard. by
And
the
you
way.
have a flat dashboard. So your sight, you've got all the angles covered and covered very well. And the luxury and the comfort, it's easy. Takes off very easily.
Yeah.
So you're not struggling like in traffic and saying, all the time.
I'll tell you something. The two things that stand out for me, and we've already talked about the space and we've talked about the comfort on the inside.
Right.
But I also want to know how comfortable it is if you go not exactly roads that are rugged, because I don't think it's the best for rugged roads.
Right.
I think it's best for roads like this and then real tarmac itself.
Right.
Just how comfortable is it in terms of the cushioning of little potholes, and meaning I talk about things like the frames and
Right.
things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all solid. It's one, and therefore what happens? It's a monocoque. You've got
Yeah.
a monocoque chassis, so that means the body is integrated with the chassis frame. So you have one solid, compact aspect of the vehicle. And secondly, the seating configuration, you've got bucket seats, which hugs you both for passengers and both for the driver. So everything is comfort. And the legroom also allows you to be flexible, to be able to sit comfortably.
Yeah.
And the whole aspect of long distance driving,
Yeah.
you got it in the Sentra.
Let me ask you something, David.
Yeah, right.
And this is something really personal. When you first sat in this car,
Right.
what were your first two observations that impressed you the most about it? The moment you first sat in and probably drove a few meters away, what came to you? What are those two things that came to your mind first?
My legroom.
Yeah.
My legroom was like, wow, okay. I could push back, and I'm the kind of guy when I sit in the car, because I've got long legs.
Yeah.
The guy at the back doesn't have. You can't put a guy at the back.
Yeah.
But there I was sitting right back, and it was comfortable. And then I have access, visual access to the instrument.
What is Nissan focusing on? What are they focusing on with cars like this?
Basically, they're looking at a car that is basic, but also executive, and encompasses the luxury
Yeah.
of a medium-sized saloon. You've got it every basic. You've got your radio there. You've got your controls within reach, and that's it. It
That's
allows
what
you
a
to
car
enjoy your drive, and that's the beauty about it.
All right, look, I'm getting very, very comfortable with this car.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's lots of space. So Dave, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to
Right.
really request you to stop here
All right.
because I want to do something. All right, David,
Wow.
let's just say the principal is in.
Right.
Can we please leave?
Sure.
Thank you.
Enjoy the ride
Thank you.
and the scenery.
Thank you, David.
You're right.
For a standard sedan, the Nissan Sentra has exceptional qualities and is as reliable and efficient as the brand itself.
All right, that's it for this week's edition of Revved Up. Now, before we leave, three major points. Number one, thank you very much for joining us every single week. It's really a pleasure having you guys as an audience every week here on Revved Up. Number two, it's a car show. Let's try and be as safe as we can on the roads. Let's try and reduce most of those accidents. And number three, ladies and gentlemen, our official Facebook page is up and running. You can connect with us and get your side of the story as we get you our side of the story. Every week, the page is Revved Up Uganda. Thank you very much. Stay revved up. Good night.
Next week on Revved Up.